Good morning, Ma'am. I am Anelyn Gabayan. My topic is all about the changes in biodiversity. The term of biodiversity was first coined by Walter J. Rosen in 1986. The biosphere comprises of a complex collection of innumerable organisms known as the biodiversity, which constitute the vital life support survival of human race. Biological diversity, abbreviated as biodiversity, represent the sum total of various life forms such as unsecular fungi, protozoa, bacteria, and multicellular organisms such as plants, fishes, and mammals on various biological levels including genes, habitats, and ecosystem. Concept of biodiversity and its type. Biodiversity is the variety of life on Earth for any kind of animals or plants. Each individual is not exactly the same as any other, nor are species of or ecosystem. Biodiversity, biodiversity and generally described at three levels: genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecosystem diversity. Ecosystem or habitat biodiversity as the structural and the functional unit of the biosphere. Ecosystem diversity is defined as the aggregation of various habitats, community types of a biotic environment in a given area. Distribution of biodiversity. Biodiversity is not evenly distributed, rather it varies greatly across the globe as well as within regions. Terrestrial biodiversity is the through to be up of 220 times greater than ocean biodiversity. The study of the spatial distribution of organisms, species, and ecosystem and science of biography. And the threats to it. Threats to biodiversity, habitat destruction, important to protect habitat in order to protect biodiversity within it. Huge pressure from the population from the world. Rapidly increasing population. Global climate change into abiotic elements of ecosystems leading to biotic change. Habitat fragmentation from human activity reduces ability of habitat to support species, population introduction of pollutants such as nutrient overloading with nitrate fertilizer, as well as more immediately harmful chemicals. Exploitation. This includes the illegal wildlife travel as well as overfishing, logging, or tropical hard works or etc. Alien species introduced by humans to regions where there are no natural predators. This is predation in habitat causing the high population densities encourages spreads of diseases. Habitat loss. Habitat loss can be described with an animal losses their home. Every animal in the animal kingdom of has a niche. Other in their animal community and without their habitat, they no longer have a niche. Reasons of habitat loss by humans. Agriculture, farming, harvesting natural resources for personal use, for industrial and urbanization development. Habitat destruction is currently ranked at the primary causes of species extinction worldwide. Poaching. Poaching is the hunting and harvesting taking wild plants or animals such as through hunting, harvesting, fishing, or trapping. History of poaching. Millions of years ago in the Stone Age followed through the ages to even tribal natives. But it was during the late Middle Ages that poaching become a punishable offense. How does poaching affect the environment? Poaching or illegal hunting causes animals endangered of being extinct. Of more animals becomes extinct, there is disruption in the food chain, and that will cause major problems in our ecosystem, resulting eventually in a new adaptations of animals and our species beyond human control. Poaching results in animals being hunted too soon for them to time and reduce the populate. Conservation of biodiversity, restoration of biodiversity, imparting environment education, enacting, strengthening and enforcing environment legislation, population control, reviewing the agriculture practice, controlling urbanization, conservation through biotechnology. Convention on biological diversity known as the Biodiversity Convention is one of multilateral treaty. The convention has three main goals: conservation of biological diversity or biodiversity, suitable use its components, and fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from genetic resources. Biodiversity is the concept that has no general definition. Usually it Usually, it is used in a context that stresses the need for attention in our living environment and the suitable use of natural resources. Biodiversity can be divided in different types such as habitats, species, and genetic diversity. The integrated approach used in coastal zone management is an adequate method in dealing with the matter of biodiversity. That's all.